Namaste and welcome. It is Rishi here from meditatewithrishi.com, and today we are speaking about the surprising ways in which meditation changes your life. So I say surprising ways because in the mainstream, when we speak about the benefits of meditation, we speak about how it makes us calmer, how it reduces stress, how it reduces anxiety. And of course, these are great benefits and they happen, right? But these are not the purpose of the practice. The purpose of meditation is to help you to awaken, to realize who you truly are, essentially, to awaken to the oneness of all creation. Now, on this journey of awakening, when you are consistently practicing meditation, there are some natural changes that occur in you, in your personality, that are elevating, that essentially make you, put or leave behind the things that were tying you or holding you back. And I want to share what changes that I've experienced in the past few years, because they've really improved the quality of my life, and I know that it's definitely going to do the same for yourself. So this is more of a motivation to meditate video. Okay, so let's get into it. What is the way number one? Number one is that you begin to get clarity on who you are. A lot of us do not have this clarity. We don't know who we are. We don't know what our purpose is, what our values are, what we stand for, what we truly want. And this is why often we do things that other people are doing instead of finding the authentic thing that we are supposed to do. So the one thing that you begin to get naturally through this spending time with yourself is getting clarity on who you are. Things like your purpose, your values naturally become clearer to you. And when this happens, we naturally come to number two, which is that you stop caring what other people think of you. This is such a huge thing. This is so liberating, because most of us care too much of what other people think of us, how we look, how much we earn, what we do, where we live, how our kids are, all these things. That's only because, the people that care what other people think are people that are not totally convinced of themselves yet. When you know who you are, what you want, what your purpose is, what your values are, what you stand for, naturally you're going to care very less what other people think, because you have a direction and a purpose that you're going in. So naturally you stop caring what other people think, and this is really liberating. This makes you feel so light and able to really create the authentic life that you want, to live authentically, the confidence to live authentically. Okay? Number three is that your negative emotions naturally reduce. I'll use anger as an example, because this is one that is a problem. It spoils our relationships, right? So anger will naturally come down, and your negative thinking patterns that you often fall into, you'll be able to come back from them really easily. Let me just explain why this happens so it makes sense, okay? See, usually when the mind is untrained, what happens is we get one thought and then we ride the thought. So for example, let's say you think about, you're practicing, okay? You think about, what shall I eat for dinner today? And then that thought becomes, maybe I should have this. Do I have the ingredients for this? Oh damn, I'll have to go to the supermarket. Oh, that means I'll have to fuel up my car. And you ride the thought, essentially. So in meditation, the practice is that we don't ride the thought. We want to be able to catch the thought as it happens. So the moment that the thought comes, that what shall I have for dinner tonight? You realize, wait, I'm meant to be focusing on my breath. You say no to that thought, you come back to the breath. This translates into daily life. The moment you get this emotion rising up of anger, you realize straight away it's coming, and you are able to objectively decide not to act on it. and say, I can either walk away or I decide not to be angry. I'm going to deal with this in a different way. And this naturally brings us to number 4, which is your relationships improve dramatically. In essence, your relationships become really, really peaceful. Because when you take negative emotions out of relationships, when you take arguments out of relationships, naturally they're going to be really, really peaceful. So the simple formula is that the more you meditate, the more you are in control of your thoughts and your actions and reactions, which means that you can, diffuse a negative situation like that, which is an incredible way to live your life, an incredible power to have. Okay, so relationships are more peaceful. That is number 4. Number 5, I just want to put this in there because this happened to me without any effort on my part. You stop swearing or using abusive language. I can't explain it, right? It's purely because, it may be because, you have a lot more compassion in you. You are speaking, with a lot more love. Your negative emotions and negative thinking are not there. But I'm just noticed that I do not swear anymore, right? It reduced. I don't swear anymore. And if I do, the off chance, maybe once a month, something comes out, it becomes a big deal in my mind that, wow, was this necessary? Why did I speak in this way? So it's just a natural thing that happens, which is, again, awesome for your relationships and just generally how you're feeling, okay? Number 6 is that your bad habits will begin to reduce, again, naturally. So whether it's smoking, drinking, drugs, junk food, procrastination, binging on Netflix, anything that you feel is a bad habit that you want to get rid of, it will begin to reduce naturally. Initially, it happens because you have better control over your mind, as we just spoke. But later, it actually happens because you don't need something to make you feel good. You know that when you go inward in meditation, you quiet your mind. The natural qualities that arise within us are this natural happiness that is not dependent on anything. It is the quality of ourself. This natural happiness and joy arises. And it is one that is of a higher quality than that which we get from anything on the outside. So naturally, when you know where you're going to get more joy, that's where you're going to go. That's how you're wired. So when you begin to realize that more joy can be found within than through something outside, that's naturally where you'll go. It's really simple. That's naturally where you'll go. Okay? Number 7, this is a big one, especially for guys, I think, is that your lust reduces. This doesn't mean that your lust reduces, essentially. I'll tell you what this means. This means that if you are, let's say when the mind is not trained, right? You see a girl and you are unable to control yourself. Your emotions, the chemistry in your body begins to change and the thoughts begin to change. You start, thinking very heavily. Like the lust thoughts are very heavy, very strong. And they start pulling you in certain directions. This is a huge problem. Masturbation addiction, again, is a huge problem in today's day and age. This naturally and gradually reduces with more and more meditation. So if you are someone that is trying to essentially control that part of your life and naturally feel different about it, then meditation definitely will help you on that, okay? Number 8 is that there is a reduction in desire for idle chit-chat. Idle chit-chat means just talking about nothing in particular, just hanging out, talking rubbish, gossiping. You realize how futile that is, that it's just a waste of your time and energy, essentially. And there's just a natural reduction in it. So if, these social situations that are revolved around this, about sitting around idly, just chit-chatting, your desire for them will reduce naturally. And this doesn't mean that you are becoming we have to look at this in the right way, okay? Because ultimately, if the point is to be happy, and you can feel much happier by doing something creative, by doing something productive, instead of sitting around idly and just chit-chatting, gossiping, then that's a good thing. So we have to see the good in that, essentially, okay? Number 9 and number 10 are the core belief systems that you hold. The core belief systems that you hold begin to change. So number 9 is that the amount of fear that you have in life about anything, about things not working out, about things not happening the way you want them to, or about failure, this fear naturally goes down, and a level of trust naturally goes up. You become less and less scared, and you begin to trust that somehow or the other, things will work out. The universe has your back. Somehow or the other, things will work out. A big part where this happened for me was when I wanted to quit my job to essentially teach meditation, because it had changed me, it helped me so much. And at this time, it was the most difficult thing to get myself to do, because all I'd known for 8 or 9 years was having a stable income through working in the corporate world, essentially. So with meditation came the trust that, even if I don't have a proper plan or all the money that I need, no problem. Somehow or the other, it will work out. And I took that leap of faith, and here we are still a few years later. So this is great. You're able to actually go after what you want in life, and that is liberating. That is liberating, because the last thing you want is to spend 60, 70, 80 years on this planet and then regret the things that you didn't do because you didn't have the courage. So with meditation, your fear will go down, your trust and your courage will go up for sure. And last but not least, at number 10, is that you truly understand impermanence. Impermanence was one of the core teachings of the Buddha. And you truly understand impermanence, not theoretically, not by reading it from a book, but an inner knowing, an inner feeling. I'll give you a couple examples. When you see people that are, or even yourself, that are, their whole life is about chasing money, okay? I'm not saying there's anything wrong with money. Money is a very good thing. We all need money to live and help, okay? But what I'm saying is that when a lot of people are chasing money just for the sake of money, you will be able to see how futile this is, how purposeless this is, because ultimately we all have to go, right? So it doesn't matter how much you accumulate, you have to go. You realize that you have to go. We come and we go. No one's living here forever. So what are we accumulating tons and tons and tons for? So when this happens, your whole perspective of life changes. You begin to look in a different direction, or you begin to see life with a new lens. And this is liberating. Another example of this, understanding impermanence, is take death, for example. Some people make death such a big deal. Someone passes away, and to them it is the worst thing that could happen, right? But the one thing that's guaranteed when you're born is that you are going to die. Every one of us is going to die. This is a universal truth. It's not even about being cold. It's just a truth. If you're born, you are going to die, right? So when we don't have an understanding of impermanence, this becomes a big deal in our lives. It can have a really negative emotional impact on us. But people who understand the impermanence, you'll see there are people who can laugh death off. When somebody dies, yes, they'll feel a bit sad, but deep down, they'll say that, well, we come and, you know, we have to go. And they can lightly brush this off. These are the mature souls, so to speak. And with meditation, this understanding of impermanence will become inbuilt in you. So you know that, you know, things come, things go, rising and falling, right? This is the nature of life. This is the nature of life. And you stop taking things too seriously. You're able to, you know, become detached and essentially enjoy things for what they are, and at the same time know that this will not last forever. That is the ultimate state, enjoying the present completely, yet knowing that it's going to pass. That is the the ultimate state, right? So these benefits, the ways that meditation changes your life, I hope you can see that they will greatly increase the quality of your life, because they free you. They give you a new lens with which that, you know, you look at life. And none of these are something that you do. They happen naturally. They come naturally. The more you practice, the more of this will just become a natural part of your being. Okay, so I really hope that this helps, gives you some clarity, hopefully inspires you. This is, you know, on with my limited understanding, some of the things that I've kind of, you know, felt so far, which I wanted to share with you. So yeah, I really hope that helps. Thank you very much for listening. Namaste.